Hello my fragrance friends, it's Kat and I'm back today to reflect on my perfume usage in January. I have been trying really hard to document my fragrance on Fragrantica every day. Someone did ask how you do that. On the screen I'll show you. If you actually create an account, you can go and sort of log your fragrances. Now if the fragrance you are wearing is on Fragrantica, you can just search it and easily sort of select it as one you wore. Or if you have it sort of listed, it's one that you've got, you can go down to your drop down and choose it from the fragrances that you own. So it's quite a handy feature and a good way to sort of track your usage, because then you can also look at your top 3 used fragrances in whatever date range you want. Now I found the hindrance with that is if I do delve into brands that aren't on there. So an example is I placed an order for Bujairami, which is an Australian sort of, they have some original fragrances, but they have a lot of dupe fragrances as well. The majority of their range is not on there. So if I'm using this, I actually have to type in the name and I have to type it in correctly, like the same way each time. So it actually sort of counts towards my total, if that makes sense. And even then, if it does make my top 3, which one of them has, it sort of shows it up blank. So there is a hindrance with that. It sort of deters me from wearing things that aren't on Fragrantica, but at the same time, if I do wear them, it like deters me from recording it on Fragrantica, if that makes sense. But I'm going to start with my top 3 fragrances that I've been using this month, and then also tell you my sort of maybe my few favorites and my couple that 3 that I haven't really loved. My top fragrance according to Fragrantica is Lattafa. This is Noble Blush. Apparently I've used this 7 times. Now I was doing a review on this, so I was trying to really figure out how I feel about it. So that explains why. I will link the review on the screen or in the description box if you want to see it. This is sort of like a rose, creamy, musky, vanilla-y sort of scent. So if you like creamy sort of gourmand fragrances, but instead of it being fruity or really sugary, you want a bit of rosiness, that one is an interesting one. It's actually not my favorite fragrance. I think because I was reviewing it and I really wanted to get clear what I thought about it. That's why I used it so much. The next fragrance that technically it says I used the most was Her Confession by Lattafa. I hate this. It gives me an absolute headache and I'm surprised I put up with it 5 times, to be fair. I am still letting this sort of chill and decide what I think about it, but chances are I'm keeping it in the box because I'm planning on getting rid of it. I'll talk a little bit more about that in like my least favorite things of the month. This one by Bujairami is First Date. I do think I used this more than what I tracked because I got this about maybe 2 weeks ago. And most nights I wear this to bed. This to me is one of my favorite fragrances of the month. It is a bit heavy for summer, like it's quite hot at the moment. We're just starting a stretch of like 5 days of really hot weather. So this is not one I'd wear during the day, but it's so cozy at night and I can't wait to use this like quite liberally in winter. Apparently Bujairami is also a fragrance brand that you let it sort of, it develops in intensity and strength apparently. Over a couple months. So I'm curious to see how this will perform in winter. But essentially this is a dupe for Lush Sticky Dates. And I've got the shower gel version of that. I really like it. I did try the body spray. I found that it was very nice smelling. I really enjoyed the body spray scent, but it just didn't last very long. And it's 50 Australian dollars. This is 45 for 100 mils. And this is a perfume version. Do I think they got the scent perfectly? No. But I actually think I like this one more. Sticky Dates for me, it's got a lot of date. It's a little bit earthy because the sweetness comes from sort of dates rather than sugar or like chocolate note or something. It also has carob in it. Now that's not listed in this description, but that is listed on the back of the shower gel. So again, it gives a bit of a sort of chocolatey, earthy, very sweet vibe. Think of like the dates in Lattafa Camera. Like it's that kind of really sweet, sticky, sweet date scent, but this has no spices to it. This does have a bit of booziness to it, which the original shower gel and the spray doesn't have, but I love the booziness. I'm not a boozy fragrance girl at all, but in this, I'm like, it is quite addictive. And the booziness smells to me, I was trying my hardest to pinpoint it. I'm not a big drinker, but the thing that clicked in my mind was Bailey's Irish Cream. So it's got that creamy, sort of that boozy, but I love it. I love it. I really love it. So this is definitely one of my most used ones and one of my top fragrance finds of the month. And I think I just underreport using it because A, I wear it to bed, which means I forget to log it on Fragrantica and I have to type it in every time, which is a pain in the butt. But this, if you like sticky dates and you want a fragrance version, 45 Australian dollars for 100 mils. Like, it's a good one. Let's get on to my other favorites of the month and then I'll get on to the least favorites, which you can imagine Her Confession is going to be there because it is the top of the list, but so are a few other things, which is interesting. So another Bujairami one that I really love, I've actually got 2 here that I want to talk about. So I placed an order, I think I placed an order for 5. 2 I'm okay with, like they're okay, I don't love them, and then 3 I really love. So this is Lime Surge. So this is supposed to be Nishani Wulong Cha dupe. This does probably not smell as niche. It's definitely smells a little, not cheap, that's the wrong term, but it doesn't smell like elevated and sophisticated. It does have a lot of citrus here, but it's sort of, I really like it, but I can imagine some people thinking it smells a bit like cleaning products. But what I love about it is that it's got that citrus, but then it's got that tea note, which is so refreshing and delightful. And when you get a little bit of just a little whiff of it during the day, you're like, oh, this smells so fresh and nice. Now I have promised myself, if this is supposed to smell like Wulong Cha, which I haven't had a chance to try, I can't find it in store and I can't be bothered buying a little 2 ml bottle for 15 bucks when I can buy 100 ml for 45, that's a dupe. I promised myself I'll track down the original, I'll buy the original if I use this bottle, which I obviously won't use it straight away. It's a 100 ml, but I do really like it. I really vibe with it. So this is another Bujairami that I really enjoy. And the last Bujairami I really enjoy is this one here, which is called Sweet Escape. It's in a different bottle because this is the stronger version. You can buy the normal version in this sort of bottle, or you can buy the extract version, which is a little bit stronger and it's 15 bucks more. So I thought I'd try this. Now I'm glad I went the stronger version because it is a weaker fragrance. It pretty much smells like vanilla and sugar, and I really vibe with it. Again, it's not a bold dominating scent, but it smells quite high end. If I just had sprayed this on myself, which I'll spray on this arm because I don't have the lime one, it does smell like something you'd get from a niche shop for potentially like $200+, whereas this was 60 Australian dollars. So yeah, good for layering. I'm really enjoying these. Oh, and this is a dupe for, is it Escapade Gourmand? I just wanted to try that scent profile at a cheaper price point. And I think what I like about these as well is some of these things, like I bought one that's a little bit like nutty chocolatey. It's one that I probably wouldn't spend $200 or $300 on that scent profile because realistically, how much am I going to use it? But for 45 bucks, it means I can play around with it and decide, is this something I want to commit to? So I'm a bit hit and miss with the fragrances that I bought from Bujairami because some of them I don't love. I can do a whole video if you want me to. And I also have another order coming because I was so inspired by these. But the ones that I do like, totally worth the order and totally worth sort of the blind buy. So yeah, these I really enjoy. The next fragrance I want to mention that I love, this is no surprise. It is my Paris Corner North Stag Expressions Quatre. I love this so much. It's supposed to be a dupe for Louis Vuitton Afternoon Swim, I think it is. I don't think it actually smells exactly like that. I think that's more generic for citrus. This is like very heavy orange and I think it's a lot sweeter. I love this. This is one of my favorite. Oh my God, whenever I apply this, makes me happy. I think when it first hits me, it's got a bit of a ginger note that's a little bit jarring, but it's okay. Settles down to being more like what I would consider a Fanta. It's like effervescent sweet orange. Phenomenal. I love it. If you love orange, this is a no-brainer. And the bottle is beautiful. It's an absolute no-brainer. It's gorgeous. You can have it this side. You can have it that side. It's all stunning. And it's glass. It feels really good quality. Definitely my favorite citrus. And this only didn't make the list on Fragrantica because I've been trying to work through my perfume tray and make sure that all my perfumes are used. All right, let's get on to my dislikes, and 100% Her Confession by Lattafa. This is a headache in a bottle for me. There are a lot of notes, and I'll probably do a review of this in comparison to another one. I was letting that one sort of macerate a little bit. I'll put the accords on the screen because it's supposed to be quite like vanilla-y and whatnot. All I get is white tuberose and it legitimately gives me a headache. I can't with this. I can't. I almost feel like the longer I leave it as well, the more white floral it becomes. And it is a migraine in a bottle for me. So this is to the side. I want to sort of review it compared to this Paris Corner Taskeen Lactéa Divina. Is that how you pronounce it? This is supposed to be another dupe for Blanche Bette. They're both dupes for Blanche Bette. I don't know why. I felt like I needed to have that scent profile in my collection and why I was like really gung-ho to make it work. This is a cheaper version. It's newer. So this came out, the reviews were coming out when I had already ordered Her Confession. Otherwise, I probably would have waited for this. This does have more milky notes to it. I think it's got cacao instead of cinnamon. So there's a little bit more milky sort of fluffiness to it, but still, when I smell it in the bottle, it smells straight up coconut, which is not nice. Luckily, that sort of dissipates a little bit. It was like coconut cream. Anyway, this I only got this a few days ago. I'm letting it sit for a bit. This does give me a headache, not as bad as Her Confession and not as quickly as Her Confession. But yeah, I'm hoping this one develops a little bit nicer. Otherwise, they're both going. I can't handle. I also saw a lot of good reviews on this one. I think it's by, is it Khadlaj, and it's Empire Victor. This is a very vanilla-y fragrance. It's supposed to have some lemon in it. Now, I can tell you, I applied this when I first got it, and all I could smell was burnt rubber with a little bit of vanilla. Now, the interesting thing, and the reason why I have a bit of faith in this, and I'm going to hold off a few weeks before I decide to review it, is this bottle's very heavy, by the way. Super heavy, like metal. It's very heavy. Is that I had it on my arm, I sprayed it, and I'm like, man, this is some nasty burnt rubber vibes. But then a few hours later, I smell my arm and I'm like, oh, I get vanilla. It's sort of, the burnt rubber has gone and I get vanilla. Now, I don't want to smell like burnt rubber for 5 hours to get a bit of vanilla, so that's not a thing. But I am confident that if I sort of let this macerate and I sort of spray it, get some oxygen in there, shake it up, I think that burnt rubber smell is getting slightly better. Not so much that I can actually smell any citrus whatsoever, but enough that it just smells like rubber vanilla rather than just burnt rubber. But it's not good. There's something nostalgic, like really plasticky vanilla. For January, in my opinion, even though it's only been in my collection for a week of January, it is not good. But I am hoping that I can miraculously open it one day, spray it on myself and go, oh, there's that lovely vanilla with a bit of citrus that everyone's talking about. Because right now this is not good. Rubber and bad breath vanilla. I don't get it. I don't get it yet. So those experiences have really deterred me too much from delving into, especially Middle Eastern fragrances. They bring out such good stuff. But I feel like I've been on a run of some bad purchases recently. And I'm just kicking myself because I actually bought these in store. Like I tried them and I'm like, I don't really love them in store, but I've heard so many good things that I'm hoping they're good. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just a waste of money. I'm just a fool. But I am leaning more heavily into this kind of thing because this is where I'm getting better value, which is surprising. Let me know what your favorite fragrances of January were. What were some fails that you came across or things that you just weren't really vibing with? Have you tried Bujairami? And what are your thoughts? What are your favorites? And have you tried these? And do they need to macerate more? Because right now, I'm not having a good time. My new understanding is that white bottles are not for me, but I'm hoping that these ones come around. Let me know if this smelled like burnt rubber to you when you first got it. All the fragrances I mentioned will be listed in the description box below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.